Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, let's do this, baby. Welcome to Respawn Play of the Week. Welcome, everybody, to Respawn Please, the weekly video game podcast, where two dum-dums come together to talk all things video games. And with me, as always, is the premier Overwatch player in the world. The greatest, some would say. The only one who's gone undefeated because he's never actually played in a competitive game. L, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? I'm good. You know, just here, of course, undefeated because I've never played in competitive. No.
Yeah.
But no, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Also, I'm Jesus, everyone. I always forget to say that.
Of course.
I always go straight into L. I'm Jesus. Exactly. I'm doing well. Tired. It's been a long week. My school, I'm leaving, you know, and they have me doing a bunch of stuff in this final 2 weeks of school. I have 2 weeks left. Starting.
Wow.
Technically, it was 3. Now it's 2. Starting Monday, I'm going to be doing a bunch of testing and stuff. So I got to be excited for that. Pretend I'm excited for that.
Wow.
If any of my students hear this, I'm excited. If any of my co-teachers or my fellow teachers hear this, I am very excited to grade test this coming week.
Oh my gosh.
So excited.
Wow.
You don't
amazing.
understand. Yeah. But for everybody else, I am not excited.
Oof.
I'm ready to leave. I'm just anxiety. I see the date. It comes ever closer. I'm just like, man, I'm ready to go. I did have a panic this morning. I woke up and I was like, man, I only have 2 weeks. I still have to get rid of all this shit. I have to get rid of my bed. I have to get rid of my dresser, my clothes thing there. I have to get rid of my fridge and all of that out there. I have so much shit to get rid of. I have 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Oh no.
I don't know what to do.
That's a lot.
So I texted one of the people that want my bed. One of my coworkers wants my bed. So I was like, you can have it next weekend. I will sleep on the floor for the final week if I have to. But anyways, for those who don't know, I live in Japan and I'm moving back to the United States. If they are new to Respawn Please or whatever. But we have a lot to talk about today. Mostly Xbox stuff. We just have Xbox stuff to talk about because Xbox is apparently maybe putting some of their games on other systems. And then Microsoft also announced a developer direct coming on Thursday, January 18th, right?
Awesome.
Yes, January 18th. So, L, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the developer direct or do you want to start with these rumors of Xbox games going to Switch and PlayStation? It's the end of the world, apparently, with that. So,
oh my God, people are so dramatic. Let's do the backlog onto the system. So the Switch.
All right. So, over on IGN, just a article titled "Xbox exclusive Hi-Fi Rush rumored for Nintendo Switch." This is an article written by Wesley Yenpool. Xbox hit Hi-Fi Rush is heavily rumored to be set for a rival console, the Nintendo Switch, in 2024, sparking a vociferous debate. Can't say that word. Sparking a debate about Microsoft's exclusive strategy. Insider Nate the Hate, who has a good track record when it comes to video game announcements, teased that a critically acclaimed Xbox exclusive is set to launch on a competing console platform. And apparently that may be Hi-Fi Rush. You know?
Whoa.
Does that surprise you? Are you like, man, those Switch people don't deserve Hi-Fi Rush. This needs to stay Xbox exclusive. You're disgusting Switch players don't deserve this great game.
No, I think, excuse me. I think that's amazing. I think that's great. I feel like we're getting to a point where I think video games, maybe should is a strong word, but I think that I would like them to be where I think that games should just be all cross platforms, you know, just so that way everybody can enjoy. Now, I understand with certain games that might be too heavy on the system, you know, you might not be able to play, like, for example, like you'll never probably get like a a game such as like Red Dead 2, I could be wrong, watching the future something happens, where Red Dead 2 on a Switch, just because of the system capabilities of being able to handle all that, of so much detail. But for a game like Hi-Fi Rush, which I think is a good game, and I think that it's an enjoyable game that everybody can enjoy, and I think Hi-Fi Rush is actually perfect for the Switch, for just the type of gameplay you'll get. I think that this is great news, and I think that this is something that just opens up, it reintroduces the game to those who didn't have a chance to play it because they didn't have an Xbox or they didn't have Game Pass for PC to play it. And it just opens up like a whole new like section of audience for the game to, you know, play this game that's fun to play, you know?
Yeah, I agree. You know, I think this is an interesting direction to go with like Xbox. Yeah. Xbox is all like messaging has been, you can play your games anywhere. Of course, you know, putting it on Switch means you can play your games anywhere. So it'll be interesting to see if like this gets confirmed. Whether or not Hi-Fi Rush will arrive to Switch or not. It's all just rumors right now. Xbox has not said anything. Microsoft has not said anything. And same goes with the Sea of Thieves, reportedly also coming to PlayStation. So this is over on the PlayStation Universe site by David Carcassol. I can't pronounce names, dude. I'm like sucking on pronunciation today. But Sea of Thieves in Microsoft's live service co-op pirate adventure developed by Rare, and it's been an Xbox and PC exclusive since launch. However, two reports have surfaced from former Axios reporter Stephen Totillo and Giant Bob's Jeff Grubb that both point to Sea of Stars coming to PlayStation. So this is another game rumored to jumping ship from being an Xbox PC thing to now finding home on another system. I honestly just want to talk about what this could mean for Xbox, like Xbox's plans. Do you think we'll see more games potentially if the rumors are true and that Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush find themselves on other systems? Do you think this opens the door for Xbox to go, let's put Halo over on PlayStation? Why not? Let's put all of this. Or do you think it's just going to be select games? Like Hi-Fi Rush is kind of a small game that, you know, it's not one of the pillars of Xbox. It's not a Halo or Gears of War or Forza or anything like that. Hi-Fi Rush is just a really good game. And then Sea of Thieves is a live service game, which live service games rely on players.
Exactly.
If you want more players to come to your game, of course you're going to put it on other systems, right? Like, it doesn't make it like you want to make money, right? So a good way to make more money is go put it on another system so you can get more people to play it. So do you think Xbox will keep putting other games on systems, or do you think it's going to be like small games like Hi-Fi Rush? And I don't mean to say Hi-Fi Rush is like small and insignificant or anything like that. Hi-Fi Rush is a really good freaking game. I love Hi-Fi Rush. It's beautiful. And Sea of Thieves is good in its own right and stuff. But like both of these games make more sense to me if they would go to like a Nintendo Switch or to a PlayStation. That makes sense. Whereas like Halo or Gears of War for me, I don't necessarily see Microsoft doing that. I don't necessarily see Microsoft going, oh, we're going to put why do I keep saying Sea of Stars? Starfield over or anything like that. Like, because I feel like those are like more pillar games to go, hey, we have these games over here. These games are exclusive. You should come play over here if you want to play them. Whereas Hi-Fi Rush, I can't see anybody going, Hi-Fi Rush, I'm going to go buy an Xbox just for Hi-Fi Rush.
Exactly.
I don't necessarily see people saying that. So,
I'd say that it's interesting because I think it's going to be more of a select smaller games, because I think this also makes me think of, in this world of the video game industry, all of this is a business because everyone trying to be like the top dog. And I think this is Xbox way, sort of, to be like, we want everybody to play our games except for these big games over here. We want, like, look at us. We're trying to get other players to play all these games over here. just not our exclusive games, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I doubt we'll ever see, I could be wrong, you know, I could be completely wrong, but I doubt we'll ever see Halo on the PlayStation. I doubt that will ever happen. I just think Microsoft is like, no, we're going to keep that to ourselves. Same thing with like I doubt we'll ever see God of War to Xbox. Like that's just not something that'll happen because they want to keep some sort of a competitive advantage against, you know, each other. And so I think we'll probably see more like games like, you know, like your Sea of Thieves or like a Hi-Fi Rush, like small, not necessarily small, but like smaller titles, kind of get over there and just go cross-platform with Switch, even PlayStation and stuff. And so I think all of this just makes sense for business, you know?
Yeah.
And then I don't know. It's just ever since like the whole court proceedings of stuff of like everybody calling each other out between Sony and Microsoft of like, hey, you know, they're doing this because they want to dominate, monopolize or whatever. And Microsoft, this is like, I feel like we're going to be down the road and eventually Microsoft is going to try to acquire somebody else that's big. And they'll be like, but look, when we did this, we were giving all these games to other systems and other, you know, and like, we don't want to monopolize, but I feel like this is them in a way. Sure, they probably do have good intentions to be like, yeah, let's give them Hi-Fi Rush. But someone in the background of the business world is like, oh, this will look good for us whenever we do try to acquire this bigger thing, you know?
So you're going in the camp. This is all a conspiracy. They're just trying to. So they're going to do a year of good things where they're like, see, we're putting all our games everywhere. See if Thieves, that went to PlayStation. Hi-Fi Rush, that's over on Switch, you know? Next year, oh, we're buying Ubisoft. Look at that. Who would have thought?
Exactly. Something
We've been
like
good,
that.
We've been good at this entire time, guys. We've been good so far. Like,
we're the good guys here. We're the good guys. I feel like they would do something like that. You know, now granted, they might want to do it like the people, they're like, no, let's, you know, see if these is popular. Let's make it even more popular. Hi-Fi Rush needs to get more looks at it. So let's just give it to the Switch, you know. There probably are good intentions in it there, but then I think at the same time, they're both like, oh, but this will also look good on our track record. You know, it just happens to be that way. And I could be wrong. That just might me being jaded and being like, oh, this is a business, you know, but I think it's kind of like the same thing when we first talked about Microsoft trying to acquire Activision Blizzard of like, it's probably going to happen. Like, it's like, you know, there's no, like, it's a part of you goes, I don't know if this is a good thing for the industry, but then a part of you is kind of like, well, this is going to happen. And we just happen to benefit a little bit. But in the long run, you're like, should we have allowed this, you know, or is this just something? But I think it's good for those games, especially for Sea of Thieves, you know, to keep it alive and keep it going. I mean, if you look at like other games that do that, basically, I mean, as an example, just because I play it, Overwatch is cross-platform. They're like, this is a live service game. We want as many players to be playing it. And so we're going to give it to every single system possible and to keep it alive. And so it makes sense. You know, it makes perfect sense.
But Al, how am I supposed to know that my plastic box is better than someone else's plastic box? How am I supposed to know when I don't have exclusives? Like,
that is very true.
I don't understand. Like, I don't know that my Xbox is better than PlayStation if I don't have this game exclusive to my console. My God, I mean, like, I can't tell. Like, come on, know, right? Like, you know, Microsoft's just ruining the value of games here. You know, like, come on, man.
That's hilarious. That does bring up an interesting question for me, or an interesting thought, I should say, that like, I wonder if all this happening, you know, because there are people who do think like that and they're like, no, Xbox is better, PlayStation. And then, you know, the random Switch is better. But anyway,
you get the random one that says Sega's better. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Sega?
Huh? They're still around.
When did Sega make a console?
Exactly. But it makes me think of like, I wonder if we're going to get to a point with, and maybe it's not in our lifetime, maybe even future down the road, where like that type of thinking changes. And like, for example, like, let's just say like there are no more exclusives. And then what ends up happening is like, you know, maybe something to the effect of do you prefer, I don't know, I guess the feeling of a certain system's controller? You can play every single game that you want. Everybody gets to play the same game. Is it just, something like where this feels better in my hands versus like, I wonder if eventually we get to a point where like Microsoft becomes so big or somebody else comes in and is like, we own everything and there's only one system. There are no more choices, but that seems like a dystopian future, but
yeah, that seems like a dystopian future. Also, people already argue about what controller is better. Okay, people already talk about the PlayStation controller is better, Xbox controller. Like people already do that because people are weird.
Oh my god!
But yeah, I will say Xbox controller is better. Xbox, let's be real. The Xbox deleted controller feels fucking great, man.
It does feel good.
That's literally my preferred controller. I don't get me wrong, PlayStation fine, they're all great, but just feeling. But let's also be real. The master of all controls, mouse and keyboard. It's not even
mouse
debate.
And keyboard. That's so funny. Yeah.
But I do want to talk about this idea because I've seen this argument go around like on Twitter and crap. I really need to unplug from Twitter. Twitter is just a toxic cesspool now. Apparently it's going to be a video platform now. Like, I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
I keep saying Twitter, it's X. It's going to be like a video platform now. They're trying to push people to make videos for it. And so I'm like, this is becoming weird. They're trying to compete against like TikTok and YouTube and stuff. I'm like, this is okay, whatever. This defeats what Twitter originally was to begin with. So maybe I'm just going crazy and imagining things, but anyways, but I have seen this conversation, this idea that in the long run, this is kind of devaluing Xbox as a whole, the Xbox brand, and like whether or not it's worth getting a console if Microsoft does start putting all of their games and stuff. One, I don't think Microsoft is going to put all their games on other systems. I do think it's going to be select games, like because Hi-Fi Rush makes sense, Sea of Thieves makes sense. Like if they make more games as a service games, live service games, like I can see those always being multi-platform because like Minecraft. How long have they owned Mojang in Minecraft? For like almost 10 years now, right? Like because it was like 2013-ish when they bought them, right?
Yep.
So. And Minecraft and all the Minecraft games, I want to say all the Minecraft games have all been multi-platform. Maybe Minecraft Legends wasn't, but I think Legends was also multi-platform. So I don't know. Minecraft Legends was also multi-platform. So like all the Minecraft stuff has been multi-platform. They've kept to their word with that. And like now with like Overwatch and Call of Duty and World of Warcraft and stuff, I'm sure those are all going to stay multi-platform as well. But I do think like if they have, so this question of whether or not this devalues Xbox brand, I'm curious what your thoughts on that are, because like for me, my question is like, how does it devalue the brand at all? Like, you're getting eyes on your game, especially for games like Sea of Thieves, where you do need a player base to sustain that game, to keep it going. You do need players to keep coming to it. And they do a good job of like releasing updates and like these story packs, like last year or 2 years ago, Sea of Thieves had like the Pirates of the Caribbean story pack where you could have Jack Sparrow or whatever in the game and crap. Like, so they do a good like Sea of Thieves does a really good job of having like these team ups to entice people to come back and play. But another good way to get more people to play is by putting it on other systems. So I don't really think that devalues like the brand at all. Like this just is like, hey, come play our game because our game is really good. Come play it. You'll have a great time. Like I could see them like, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, even Grounded. I don't know, like if you've been paying attention to Grounded, like Grounded, there's a lot of you can do in Grounded. I could see them putting Grounded on a Switch or with PlayStation because like Grounded is a fun ass freaking like survival game that needs players to play it. But like you can do some really cool stuff in Grounded as well. Yeah. So like these types of games I can easily see. And like I hate that argument that like, oh, this devalues those games, because it's like, no, it doesn't devalue them at all, because they're already good games. How is putting it on another system gonna make it less than? Like, unless they put it out on unless they put it out on a system and it sucks, like where it's a buggy mess and they purposely don't provide updates or anything like that. And if that's the case, then yeah, fuck Xbox and Microsoft for doing that, because they know what they're doing. They're putting that game out there and be like, well, the better version's over here. It's like they can't do that, because that would be like throwing poop at their own face, you know? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like,
it looks
it's
bad
like,
on them.
Yeah, it looks worse on them than anything. So for not providing the support and stuff. So I don't think it devalues at all. Like, and I don't think it matters one way or another. If, like, for Xbox in the long run, I think this helps what Xbox wants to do and what Microsoft wants to do, because they want people to recognize their brand. They want people to invest in the Xbox ecosystem, because, you know, you put your game on PlayStation, you'll get the Xbox logo and go, oh, Xbox. Huh, cool. I can play this on Xbox. Okay. Or, oh, cool. Xbox Game Pass? What is this? Like, you know, you'll get a logo and you'll see that, oh, I could play these Xbox games through Game Pass. And I think that's what Microsoft ultimately wants to do, is like, be like, you could play this game over on PlayStation, but hey, guess what? Have you heard of this thing called Game Pass? You can play it for free and not have to worry about it. Pay us $15 a month and you can play this game all you want. So, like, again, I think Microsoft is smart in what it's doing. If it does, these rumors are true, these games do go out to other systems and stuff, like, it makes sense. So yeah, what do you think? Like, do you see how in any way this could devalue their brand?
Their brand.
Like,
I'd say as of right now, I don't see them. I can't see a way that it devalues. Maybe I'm just not like looking hard enough. But to me, just like right off the top, it just seems like I said earlier, this kind of them doing this is for the public, or for, you know, the video game industry. It makes them look like they're the good guys. You know, it makes them feel like they want everyone to play all these games, which is good. And I think it's putting them in a good light to be like, you know, Xbox is trying to push these games out, you know, maybe, and then, you know, that causes people to be like, I want to, you know, support, you know, Microsoft and Xbox. So let me do that Xbox Game Pass for $15 a month. And that way I can play it, you know, to keep things like this going. I don't think, like you said earlier, I don't think it devalues them at all, because it seems like they're creating all this good publicity and this good like look on them with doing things like this. And so for like further down the line to eventually do something else to where people are like, well, no, they're, you know, Xbox is trying to share all these things so that more players can play all these games, or more people can can just like play these games that at first might have been exclusive to something. I don't think it devalues them at all. I think it's just great for them, because I think it keeps putting light to, you're associating positive things to Microsoft, which they're trying to, I hate talking like this, but it kind of feel like they're trying to be like, no, they care about the little guy. They care about, you know, and like, you know, because I mean, behind like most people, it makes them look like that when like Microsoft is like, okay, how can we make this profitable? How can we do that? Which I understand it's a business, but still, like, you know, it's like trying to give yourself good karma, trying to be like, well, we've did all these things, you know, so hopefully down the line when we do something that maybe a lot of people don't agree with, they'll be like, they'll give us a pass or something. But
they're at the gates of heaven, and they're trying to get into heaven, and they're just like, you see all the good that we did?
Exactly.
All the bad stuff that we did, but look at this.
No, exactly. And so, I mean, I think it goes along with what Papa Phil said in like one of the Xbox Directs, where I could be misquoting, where he said something to the effect of like, we want more players to play all these games. Like like, it sounded like they want to expand and just reach more people. And so how do you do that? You do things like this, where you give games to other systems, and they're always going to put like Xbox exclusive going to the Switch, you know, or Sea of Thieves, which is known for Microsoft, is going to PlayStation, you know. and so it's like you get people to kind of see like your brand or your company associated with these things that you're doing, so that people are like, oh yeah, they're the ones who send Hi-Fi Rush to Switch, or they're the ones who put Sea of Thieves over to PlayStation. Why they can't do no wrong? Like, you know.
Yeah.
And so, but I think overall for your question, I think that it doesn't devalue them. I think it gets people talking about them more, which was what they want, you know. And then people are like, now, before, maybe somebody who might have been negative on Xbox and Game Pass might be like, you know what? Okay, that's actually pretty cool. They did that. Let me give this a chance and let me put $15 to play this on a month. And $15 isn't a lot, you know? Yeah. And so it gives them a chance to kind of just reach more people and just associate them with good things, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely, as they say in the wrestling business, Microsoft is trying to get over with the audience. They're trying to
be the perfect example.
What everyone is talking about and tuning into and stuff. The final question I have, because this is another question I've seen floating around Twitter and crap. What's the point of buying an Xbox if all of these games are going to go over there? It's like, again, my response to that is that all the games I don't think all games are going to be jumping ship. Yeah. I think that's the answer. But like, even if they did, what would be the point of getting an Xbox? And I think this is something that I think a lot of Xbox players have grappled with over the last generation now of Xbox, with Xbox Series X and even Xbox One. Like, I know for me, like, you know, I was an Xbox person all the way to Xbox One. And then towards the end of the Xbox One PS4 life cycle, I got a PS4. And then when PS5 and Xbox Series X and S launched, I got the PS5 first. And that's all to say that in the midst of all of that, I started becoming more and more of a PC player than I am an Xbox player. Yeah. And so like, I know I'm unique in my situation where I own all the consoles. I also own a PC, and PC is my primary place to play. And so like for me, like my decision to go PC and PlayStation was more or less because, well, I know the Xbox games are going to be on PC at some point, so I'm just going to play them on PC, which this is, in a way, I as a consumer was like, I don't need an Xbox for that. Now, if I didn't have a good PC or the ability to buy a PC, then it would be, well, if it's an Xbox, if this Xbox exclusive game is going over to PlayStation, why not I just get a PlayStation when those PlayStation games are exclusive still? So like, there's some validity to it, I think, in that idea. But I also don't think Xbox and Microsoft, I don't think it really matters to them as long as you're playing their games. But I might be wrong in that. I mean, of course, I guess they want you to buy their console, but like, I think they're more interested in selling you the game, and then I think they're more interested in Game Pass than the games and then console. Yeah. From the perception that I've had, especially with like the marketing of Game Pass, I think Game Pass is their front facing. We want you to invest in Game Pass. Then we want you to invest in our games. And then and if you want to play on our console, play on our console. Like, so I don't even think console has really been that high on their big push, especially like with the Xbox Series X and S. It's like, I feel like I hear more about Game Pass in the games more than I hear about the console. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. It reminds me of the whenever they were doing the Activision Blizzard acquirement. It reminds me of when I think Xbox, in whatever those documents that leaked, were saying that, well, no, we know PlayStation is selling more consoles than us, but we're not worried about that. Yeah. I kind of feel like Xbox is doing something that's, I think personally very smart, where they're thinking so far into the future, they're like, one day we're not even going to have consoles. So what's the thing that people will have to play games? Of course, you still have your PCs, but then as we remembered, I think they're going to slowly move away from consoles to go into something that you just plug into your TV. You know how those Samsung TVs you can the dongles, and they're like, that'll be the new thing. And so what we need to do now to be on top in the future is make sure Game Pass has a lot of great games that people will want to play, and let's do that. And we don't worry about the systems. Whereas Sony, from my knowledge, you probably know more than me, but they don't have anything like that yet, where like you can connect something to the TV to play like a dongle. You need the system to play. And Sony's kind of like focused on
they released the PlayStation Portal a couple of like back in November. PlayStation Portal is basically a Switch. The problem with Portal is that you have to have the PlayStation on, and you connect that way, and it's only like over your own. I think I might be wrong about this, but as long as the PlayStation is on, you can connect it with the Portal, but you can't install games directly to the PlayStation Portal. It's the PlayStation has to be on, and then that's how you access it, and it basically just streams over to the Portal. So
gotcha. See, and I think that's where they're different, and I think Xbox is trying to, like, Xbox is like, we want to be able to, for you to just buy this little thing, connect it to whatever TV, whatever monitor, and you can just play. And like PlayStation, you're like, I don't think they're thinking, they might be thinking into it, because who knows, we don't really know what they're trying to plan for. But it's like, like you said, with the Portal, like, you still need a PlayStation. And I think Microsoft is like, let's make Game Pass as good as possible, and then we can develop something like like the cloud gaming, and just be like, let's get the work on that, so that way that eventually becomes amazing, where you don't even need a system, and really we're getting most of our money from cloud gaming, Game Pass, this little dongle that goes into whatever. Exactly.
Subscriptions rather than the consoles. So yeah.
Exactly. And then Xbox is probably like, and I think that's where people tend to forget, or maybe they just don't look that far ahead. Because I mean, we still have a long time with the consoles, I think. But like, when you look back at how consoles used to be, where now we've gotten away slowly but surely from discs, and it's now just like something you download. Like, it's just something of the past. And I think Xbox is like, we're probably going to get rid of systems one day, in a sense, where we need to work on something, develop on something that just connects to your TV, that is like a small little thing, because technology is advancing. Yeah. And that's where everything is, Yeah.
I mean, if you look at PC is pretty much already completely gone that way. Like, how often, I'm very curious about how often do people go buy a computer game from the store,
Exactly.
Like, not too many developers really release like disc versions or anything. And if they do release a like PC case thing, it's usually just a code inside of it. So
exactly.
And then look at Remedy with Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 has no physical release. It's just, you can only get it digitally on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Like, you can only get it digitally. So that is the direction the industry is going as a whole. As much as people want to rebel and no physical games forever, it's like, I mean, there's always going to be the developers that are going to release digital versions. There's always going to be the boutiques as well that will have like physical, that will like team up with developers and go, hey, we have physical versions of this game and stuff. But Xbox, though, I think I agree. Like, they realize that in a lot of ways, subscription service are the way to go. I mean, we could wake up tomorrow, though, and Microsoft goes, you know what? This was a bad idea. We're not going to, we're pulling the plug in Game Pass. Good experiments. We're done. Everybody's fired. Everybody with Game Pass is fired. We're shutting down Game Pass. Everybody will now have to pay $200 per game if you want to play our games. No, but like, I don't, and to bring this back around, though, like, I don't see what the problem is ultimately. I understand why people would be angry about this. Like, if you only have an Xbox and you got an Xbox because you wanted to believe in their vision and believe that you were getting these exclusives. And again, I don't think Xbox is going to put all their games on other consoles or anything like that. So I still think there's going to be value in having an Xbox. If you say you can't invest in a PC, but you can get the $300 Xbox Series S, right? Like, and you want to, and like, I understand, like, you want to find value in that, and the value is through exclusives, right? So I think now if Xbox started putting every single game everywhere, then I could see why you would be more upset. But like, if it's just a few small like a few games like Sea of Thieves, which needs a community, or Hi-Fi Rush, which is a smaller game that I would be interested in seeing like what the numbers are for Hi-Fi Rush, that did really well on Steam. It did better on Steam, I believe, than it did on Xbox itself. So like, I see why Hi-Fi Rush would go over to a Switch. It almost feels perfect for a Switch in a lot of ways too. And same with Sea of Thieves. Like, I understand why it would go to PlayStation, because it needs a community, and there's a lot of people on PlayStation that probably would love to play Sea of Thieves. So I think it makes sense for games like this, but like the big tentpole titles of Halo and Sea of Stars. Why do I keep saying Sea of Stars? Sea of Stars is not exclusive to Xbox. Starfield. God damn. Starfield. Like stuff like that makes sense to me, like of it being exclusive. But you know, who knows? Maybe again, Microsoft can do whatever they want. If they think it's going to make them money, they will do it. Fuck everybody else. They are going to do it. You know, like, because at the end of the day, Microsoft is a business. And if they think they can make more money putting their games on other systems, they are going to do it. If they think putting it on other systems will offset their console sales, then they will do it. So, yeah, because it's about money at the end of the day. And it's not really about you, the consumer. Remember that. It's not really about you, the consumer. As long as you consume the games, they don't care. So, exactly. As long as you're making them money. It's a really good freaking game. So, yeah. And so is Sea of Thieves. Granted, Sea of Thieves was bad when it first launched, but now it's good. Which I still want to play Sea of Thieves with you. I keep asking you. Oh yeah. You always dodgy with it, so whatever. What? I always forget because I think I get caught up on a lot of other stuff. But one day we need to hit the seas. Hit the open sea. Go have some fun. I have a parrot that I bought one time. I literally spent money to buy a parrot. And then I never actually played Sea of Thieves. I was like, oh, it's cute. It's like $4. I'm going to buy it. And then I never actually touched it. So, oh my gosh. But yeah, overall though, I think this is a good thing for Microsoft to do something like this. If they do it, again, it's all rumors. Microsoft hasn't said anything, but maybe they'll say something at the their Xbox Presents Developer Direct. Whoa. So this is the second year they're doing a Developer Direct this big. They listed off exactly what's going to be in the show. So so everyone can temper their expectations. Gotcha. I doubt we will have a shadow drop like we did last year with Hi-Fi Rush, but maybe we do. But I do think this is always smart to temper expectations with the Developer Direct, and they list exactly what's going to be in their Developer Direct. So over on the Xbox Wire blog, they have a little write-up for it. They're going to show off 4 games over the course of a couple hours. It's going to start at 3 p.m. Eastern time on January 18th. Thursday, January 18th. So just in a few short days, they're going to show off Indiana Jones, which is being developed by Machine Games, the award-winning studio behind their recent Wolfenstein series. They will reveal their upcoming Indiana Jones game, an action adventure that puts players in the leather jacket of the legendary archaeologist. Developer Direct will showcase more than 10 minutes of game and developer insights, including details about the game's setting and story, how fans will actually play as Indy, additional details from his next globe-trotting adventure, and the premiere of the first gameplay trailer. They're going to show off Avowed. The team at Obsidian will share their first deep dive into the gameplay experience fans can expect in Avowed, their upcoming fantasy action RPG set in the fantastical, vibrant living lands. Learn more about how Obsidian's expertise in building worlds with deep themes, dynamic gameplay, and thoughtful reactivity come to life in Avowed, where players will have agency to make choices to shape every step of their adventure. And then they will show off Aura History Untold, which is here from the leads at Oxide Games, a studio founded by veterans of the strategy genre and the creators behind classic strategy titles, including Civ 5, as they unveil exclusive new gameplay and share more details about the inspiration, key features, and road ahead for their upcoming historical grand strategy game. And then finally, we will get more info on Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Ninja Theory takes us behind the scenes at their studio in Cambridge to give us some insight on how they are crafting Senua's Saga's Hellblade 2. The team will speak to the ambition and meticulous care involved in creating Senua's journey of survival. So these are the 4 games you're going to get. Again, Indiana Jones, Avowed, Aura History Untold, and Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Elle, does this excite you? Does this Developer Direct, are you interested in any of these 4 games?
I am interested in 1 or 2 of these, even possibly 3. I think overall this is like a good way to start the year off. I think it's very subtle. It's very chill. It's not like just boom, like in your face type of thing. And so like, for example, like I'm interested to see more of Obsidian's Avowed. I think that looks kind of cool. Looks really fun to play. And so it'll be cool to see more of that. I am interested a little bit in Aura History Untold, just because I do enjoy playing Civ. I'm not a big Civ player, but when I do get into it, I get into it. And so that'd be cool to look at, as well as Senua Saga Hellblade 2. Just from the trailers that we've seen of just the cinematics, it looks cool, even though I'm familiar with it. And so it's going to be interesting to see like more of that. And so overall, I think it's a very subtle thing. The Indiana Jones games, I'm not really too into Indiana Jones as much. Makes me think of
you're not into indie.
It just makes me think of even though I know indie came first, it makes me think of Uncharted, like just going for treasure and stuff, you know. And so I wasn't really too big into Uncharted. But the other three, I think.
What about Tomb Raider? You know, Tomb Raider is also inspired by indie.
Oh yeah. See, but
Tomb Raider came before. Tomb Raider came before Uncharted. So.
Oh, that is true. So Uncharted stole Tomb Raider.
Everything. Uncharted's the most unoriginal bullshit game. Look, Naughty Dog, you guys stole. I'm joking.
But I think this is like a good way to start off the year. It'd be interesting. It would be crazy, even though you did say at the beginning, like, there's probably not going to be a shadow drop. It'd be crazy. They're like, actually, surprise, surprise, boom, here's this shadow drop of a game that we probably don't know much of, and then people fall in love with it. But no, it's probably just beat these games.
Yeah, on that idea, like, I think they, on one hand, they might have made a mistake last year shadow dropping. Yeah, because that sets the expectation. So every single one of these will have a shadow drop. Now, if they do a shadow drop, that means there is now a what is it?
Yeah, like a pattern or like
a pattern to it. Because like now it's like, oh, next year when they do the developer direct next year, that means there's going to be another shadow drop. So they can't. I don't think.
No,
because this would set the pattern. This would set the standard. Like, oh, there's always going to be a shadow drop, which would ruin that surprise, because then everybody would be combing and like looking at the details. Because I think one of the exciting things last year that, yes, they were like details leaked, like, hey, something's going to get announced that's not on this list last year, but it wasn't Hi-Fi Rush name wasn't really dropped too much, and it was only like 24 hours beforehand to begin with, so it still had that surprise. So maybe we'll have something like that where like, oh, something is going to get announced here. Maybe we'll hear about the names and stuff, but then for the most part, like, I know I was surprised with Hi-Fi Rush, so
yeah,
I was surprised, and that's just, you know, disconnect, turn your brain off, and go into it excited. For me, I think this developer direct is going to be fun. I think one of the things that I'm interested in knowing is, and El, I'm interested in your thoughts about this. Do you think all 4 of these games are going to come out this year? You think these are all games that, because if you look at last year's developer direct, all of the games that they did in the developer direct last year came out in 2023.
Oh,
so do you think this will be, do you think we will get an Indiana Jones game this year, Avowed this year, Aura History Untold, Senua Saga, which has been in development since the launch of Xbox? Like, the Senua Saga was like was showed off with the reveal Xbox Series X and S. So
that's hilarious.
Like, so it's been in development forever.
Yeah.
But like, do you think we would get all 4 of these in 2024?
Why not? I think that maybe, what if that becomes a new pattern? They're like purposely showing the games that will come out, just like last year, like you said. And maybe they're like, these are the 4 we know for sure are basically done. We're just going to show you all these one more time, and then they'll be spread out throughout the year. So I could see that. I think that definitely would be cool. And so I think, it
would fit. The can't remember who said it. I don't know if it was Phil Spencer or somebody else at Microsoft, but someone said they wanted to release a game every quarter. So 4 games. So it would make sense. Like, I'm interested from this list, if all these games are coming out this year, which one do you think is coming out in Q1 within the next 2-3 months? From this list, I would say Aura History Untold
would be the one. I was thinking. Aura
would be the one. Would be the one, because that just feels the most, I don't know,
I feel like it
immediate.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I almost feel like I think Senua Saga would be at the end, the last quarter, the fourth quarter.
I feel like Senua would also be at the end. Avowed streams. Avowed, I think, would be like a fall game almost, and Indiana Jones would be that summer blockbuster in a way.
Yeah, I could see that. That actually makes perfect. You just cracked the code. I could definitely see that.
But like, it would be interesting, like for sure. Like if we get release dates, like that's what I'm interested in seeing. Like, are we going to get release dates? Like Senua Saga needs a release date. Like again, this game has been teased and shown so many freaking times over the last 3-4 years. They need to have a release date now. Like to give the let us know when this game is coming out, because like they've shown it off at multiple times at the award show and Summer Games Fest and stuff. Like, come on. When's it? It's been cooking for so long. Let's just see it, because like visually it looks amazing, but like now it's let's play it now. Get into the hands of players.
Exactly.
And then for Avowed, like I'm on board because it's Obsidian. I love Obsidian games.
Yeah.
You know, I loved The Outer Worlds. I loved I loved Fallout New Vegas. I love their South Park game. I love their Pillars of Eternity games. Like I love the catalog of Obsidian games. So like Avowed is just going to be another one that I'm going to probably enjoy. If it's anything like Outer Worlds, I'm going to love it. I know you were a big fan of Outer Worlds, right? So
loved it. I love that game. It's so fun to play.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen with this. I want to also note that they have a little thing here saying, please note that while this show won't have updates on games from Activision Blizzard, you can look forward to news from those teams later this year. So they want to, again, temper expectations. There's not going to be anything from Activision Blizzard with this. It's just going to be these 4 games. Maybe they announce something else, like maybe they squeeze an announcement in there for another game. I don't think it'll be a shadow drop, but I do think maybe they'll go like, oh, we have this thing over here. While let's take a break from Indiana Jones and Avowed. Let's go talk about this little game over here. And then they get to our Untold or Senua Saga or something. Like give a little break and just like a small game that someone's working on from somewhere, whether it's whether it's one of their studios that are making it, or maybe it's a small developer that is making a game exclusive for the Xbox system ecosystem or something.
I could definitely see that.
And then shortly after the Direct, ZeniMax Online Studios will host the Elder Scrolls Online 2024 global reveal. So if you're interested in the Elder Scrolls Online 2024 global reveal, you can watch that after. That doesn't seem as exciting to me, but I'm also not a Elder Scrolls person. The follow up to this does not seem as exciting as last year's, where it was the Direct and then it was Sea of. God dang it! Why I keep saying Sea of Starfield? Brain, stop it. But it doesn't seem as exciting as like last year, where it was Starfield that followed the developer Direct up. But yeah. And of course, all of these games will probably be on Game Pass. I think it's mentioned in here. Yeah, the show will be a celebration of just a selection of our slate of upcoming games from Xbox. It's another part of our commitment to consistently bring Xbox players can't miss experiences. 2024 kicked off with a bang of Xbox Game Pass members, and you can expect that lineup to include more incredible games from Xbox and our partners as the year goes on. So yeah. I'm excited about this. I'm looking forward to it again. I expected it's going to be relatively chill. The developer Direct last year was pretty chill. I'm looking for the gameplay stuff. I think indie is going to be the big headline for this, I would assume. Would probably get most of the time, because they are going to do a 10-minute showcase of gameplay. So I think indie's the headliner for this. I think they open up with Avowed. I want to say, like, if you're going to structure this in a way, I think you open with Avowed, go into our History Untold, then Senua Saga, and then you end with Indie being the big like highlight at the end of the show. I don't know.
Definitely.
Just
I can see that. That makes a lot of sense. I could definitely see it fall like that.
Yeah. Also, I know you said you weren't excited about Indie, but I too am not excited about Indie.
I think it just, because they'll probably use it to kind of, like you said, like it's like playing off like a big name, and I'm pretty sure there are people out there who want to play the Indiana Jones games, but I know just for me, I'm just like, I really don't really care too much about it. And so, but I think it makes sense for the structure that you said, and so I think they'll structure it to that in a way, maybe with one or two switched out or something, or switched in different places, but makes perfect sense.
Yeah. They could also just do the flip where Senua Saga ends the show. Or opens the show. Maybe Senua Saga opens.
Whoa.
With how often they've shown it off, maybe it opens and they give you your release date and then they go away. Then everybody can be happy and go, yay, Senua Saga's finally fucking coming out. It's been
exactly
3 or 4 years now. Jesus. Yeah, I'm excited though. Again, looking forward to all this. And yeah, nice. Any final thoughts about the developer direct, or any thoughts on other games come? Do you think any of these games are going to be multi-platform? They're all going to go to PlayStation, every single one of them. Somehow PlayStation logo is going to pop up at the end of every single one of these. At the end of the direct, and then Xbox goes, and we've been bought by PlayStation. What?
Whoa. No. Yeah, I know. I think I could definitely see maybe the Indiana Jones game going to PlayStation. I could possibly see Aura go. I feel like Senua Saga is going to stay on Xbox. Avowed potentially could go, but I have a feeling maybe it'll be Xbox only.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think I definitely see Indiana Jones as just like, it's everywhere. I could see it played on all think, consoles.
Yeah, Indiana Jones, especially because like Disney owns technically, is probably a partner on the game because Indiana Jones is owned by Disney. So Disney had to license out the IP and stuff. So I'm sure if Disney was like, no, you guys got to put this everywhere, you can't keep it exclusive to Xbox, then Xbox would be like, okay. So Indiana Jones would definitely like probably end up on multiple consoles if Disney was like, do that. So
exactly,
because I think that's what happened with the baseball game that was exclusive to PlayStation for so long. MLB was like, no, you got to put this on Game Pass and Xbox and stuff, and PlayStation
that
was like,
makes sense.
MLB the Show, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think MLB the Show. Yeah.
Because like that was exclusive to PlayStation for the longest freaking time. And then the last two, I want to say the last three maybe have all appeared on Xbox and on Game Pass as well. So, and that's because MLB was like, you got to do this. So,
look from what I understand.
So, listen, PlayStation, get this shit over on Xbox. We need more money. You sons of bitches. So,
nice.
So yeah. All right. Well, wind us down, you son of a bitch. Oh, man, that was harsh. I'm sorry.
Everybody, thanks so much for tuning into the podcast. You can watch the video version of this podcast on our YouTube. Just search Respawn Please Podcast. We'll pop up right there, as well as listen to us on the go. We're available everywhere you get podcasts. Just look up Respawn Please Podcast and we'll pop up there. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube as well as on wherever you get your podcasts. And so you can be notified of future episodes. Hit the bell icon on YouTube to be notified of future videos, as well as follow us on social media at Respawn Please Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. And thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. And I will do my best next time to not mispronounce words. I can't promise it. Oh, also, we only have one more podcast before we take an extended break.
Yes.
Because with all the moving, Elle's moving, I'm moving. And so I just wanted to give that update. We have one more podcast before we are taking a break until probably March, maybe April. We'll have to figure out the logistics because Elle's doing some weird shit.
Oh my God.
Weird, man. Blaming Elle for everything. Anyways, thank you all.
Oh my God.
Have a good night or day or whatever, whenever you listen to this.